This is going to be kind of a segmented repair video. I don't think that there's anything so noteworthy. I just got to shove that way. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, this is kind of a segmented Cardinal Deluxe 10-foot camp trailer repair video series. If that makes sense. Because I was just in the flow yesterday, and I didn't want to interrupt it by picking up the camera the following morning. I deleted the switch. That's out here. I put a stainless steel cap in there. I did epoxy it in. I don't want an exterior switch to turn on the porch light. So I'll show you what I did for that in a second. I did put the cushions back. I vacuumed out all the storage bays, stuck the cushions back down. I am going to get some different fabric for this orange and blue. Yeesh, just not my deal. I might be wrong about this. This cabinet thing may have been here before. I don't know, because it looks like those seat bottoms are original. I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on it, so I shouldn't probably talk before I open my mouth, but I do know that that door was cut. That bottom panel, that door was probably down to another 10 inches or so. For whatever reason, they chopped the bottom, maybe to make more storage. Don't know. Okay, so the floor patch actually turned out to be 16 by 16, which is good. This is solid. This is solid now. I used a couple pin nails to hold it in place because the framework underneath was in pretty good shape. And then I used some PL400, some subfloor adhesive to just glue everything down because of the vibration. I'm going to see if I can fit a single piece over the top, and then I'm going to replace the cab, I guess we'll call it a cab, the camper to frame bolts. There's one somewhere around in there, and there's another one I've got to drill through somewhere around in there. And then it'll go through this as well and squish everything down really good. Yeah, good. Don't need this thing blowing off the frame down the highway. So we'll be right back. Keep on moving forward. I got this all buttoned up. I need to rebolt it to the frame. There's 2 bolts here that hold it to the frame. I sectioned out about I don't know if I talked about this in a previous video, but it's in the previous shot video. 16 by 16 was the repair section in this corner, and then I put another piece on top which encompassed the original floor, and then I'm going to squidge it all together with bolts holding it to the frame to hold this front corner nice and tight down to the frame. I used a bunch of PL400 construction adhesive. I went through and I tied up all the low voltage wiring, tying the upper clearance lights into, let me get in here real quick, into the trailer wiring. Created a good ground. Let me get that out of the way. I used stainless steel bolt to hold that down to the frame. That's that. These are the dead wires for the right and left turn signal. There's the clearance light going back through there, and this is going to be the 12 volt positive for the low voltage system, which is going to have a battery in here. I'm just going to use clips on the battery, right? Ground to chassis, and then it's going to tie into this. I think I mentioned this before. I have a 20 amp, God, my phone is blowing up, 20 amp thermal breaker. I'm going to put a couple power ports, socket ports in there. They're going to be in here. I don't want to see any of that stuff, so I'm going to make a little console in here in case I want to charge something off the battery or charge the battery. But I don't want to see that closed compartment and it's gone. And truth be told, I don't need a lot of capacity. The only thing I have in here that's 12 volts is an 1156 single filament bulb in there, and in here. So a standard vehicle battery, even for a little Toyota Corolla or something tiny, you know, would give me just days of electricity. Unless, yeah, I mean really, there's nothing here. Everything else is propane or it's 110. I'm going to get the water system running now. I'll show you that here in just a minute. I was cooling it yesterday with my vintage 70s fan. Good grief. And then, so this is solid. I don't know if I showed you all this. I don't know, yesterday was a blur. This is a piece of angle iron I put in. I feathered these edges here just so it wouldn't look so jagged. Unfortunately, what that does is that moves the step. I've got to drop the step down about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to put a block in here, and then I've got to rebolt it to the frame here. There's another bolt here to the frame, and then the two front ones, as I mentioned, are here and here. And that will complete the front corner, and then put the threshold and the weather stripping and everything back on. Good grief, you guys hearing that phone blowing up? Yeah. So we had a good productive day yesterday. Not seeing any daylight in that front corner, which is nice. Tied it all the way into here, which is nice. There has been some water damage though. Actually, this black stuff is padding from some kind of carpet they had stuck up here. But this, of course, is water damage, which is very typical. Very typical. So if the plan today is vacuum everything out, get this all back in, threshold, trim, water system, kind of needs a shower, and maybe move the refrigerator back into here. And then I'll see if that's original or not. I don't know. It doesn't look that way, but what do I know? Yep. Okay, I'll be back.